Well, this morning we're talking with Uriel. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Uriel.
Uriel. Okay, from New York.
Yep, New York now, yes.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, we've been doing episodes called Getting Stoned by Christianity, and we are on episode 10 today, and we're going to be talking about hidden stones. This whole idea of being stoned by Christianity that we've been working on, each one is an episode that deals with a specific problem within the circle of Christianity, and how we, as people who have left Christianity, how do we deal now that we are no longer calling ourselves Christians? We have returned to the teaching of the Torah, and we want to live in a right relationship with Hashem. And Christianity will look at us and they will cast stones at us, not literally, but they will cast stones saying that, well, you can't be in a relationship with God outside of Jesus, outside of Christianity. And so this morning I want to talk a little bit about what it means to encounter the hidden stones. Can you imagine if somebody changed all the furniture in your house, and so you get up to go to the bathroom one night, and all of a sudden you're stumbling over a coffee table? I mean, this would be disastrous. The question is Judaism hidden from the rest of the world, or is it hidden from Christianity? Why aren't more Christians embracing the truth of Judaism?
Well, the other day I told someone why it was. It's something called cognitive dissonance. And they got mad at me. They said, "What are you, a psychiatrist now?" I said, "No, I'm not a psychiatrist, but cognitive dissonance simply means that you are shown truth, you are shown what is right, but because of deep-seated beliefs and teachings that you've always had, you refuse to see what's put right in front of you." And this is the problem today with many Christians. They just don't want to see it. They will not, no matter what you do. They need a paradigm shift. They need someone to say, "Hey, let's start at ground zero and build up from there." They don't want to start at ground zero. They want to start with their preconceived beliefs and notions and look at it through only, they want to look at it through their Christ-colored glasses, so to speak, or their rose-colored glasses, that feel good religion that they've developed for themselves.
I grew up in the church most of my life. The older I'm getting now, I'm starting to distance myself from the toxicity of Christianity, and that has been a process. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, I think today I'm going to follow God out of Christianity and return to the teaching of the Torah. It was coming to my senses and trying to process this whole concept of Christianity and how it is so contrary to what I find in Scripture. It's almost as if though these hidden stones that I am coming across have, why was the Torah hidden from me? How come I never embraced Judaism before? It's amazing that the knowledge that we learn as we get older, either we become wiser or we just remain fooled.
And when we remain fools, we buy into more foolishness, which makes it even worse. And a lot of things in Christianity, people bought into foolishness and foolish teaching. I have a lot of Christian friends in the community here where I live. Many of them come to me and want to know, well, what does the Bible say about this in Hebrew? I give them the Hebrew and they're floored. I'm Jewish. In fact, I don't even read the Bible in English. I read it in Hebrew. And these people tell me I don't know Hebrew very good. And I said, well, what makes you think I don't? They say, well, Strong's Concordance says this. And I said, well, Dr. Strong might have been a great guy, but he was not Jewish, and Hebrew was not his first language. But my pastor said, and I said, oh, well, how much Hebrew does your pastor speak? Well, he took Hebrew in seminary. And it's not just knowing Hebrew, it's knowing God. When the light switch comes on and God reveals himself to you, it all starts to make sense.
Well, the part of the problem too, Uriel, is that we have to ask the right questions. If we don't begin with asking what are the profound right questions to ask, you're not going to know the answers. And this is what I realized in my study of Judaism. I began to ask questions. Can God become a man? Can God die? Can God forgive sins through blood sacrifice? And I began to read all these things that are contrary to what Jews believe. And then I began to say, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? There's something hidden here. It's like a hidden stone that I keep stumbling upon. And I'm not sure why I don't have the knowledge that the Jews have. Well, it's because, like you were saying, don't know Hebrew. You know something in Christianity, but that doesn't make you wise, because you can quote Billy Graham or quote something from the Gospels.
Right. Well, the thing is, you can know what any Jew knows if you're willing to read and understand and just listen to the teachings of the rabbis over the years. I follow a rabbi. Now, a lot of Orthodox groups follow different rabbis, and they will follow living rabbis, and they'll tell you, well, Rev so-and-so is my rabbi, and I follow the teachings of a particular rabbi who is dead. His name was Nachman, Rabbi Nachman, and Breslev is the community that I belong to. When Christians come out of Christianity, a lot of them, oh, well, we heard about you. You guys only listen to your rabbis. You don't follow the scriptures. Well, that's nonsense. We listen to what our rabbis have said about the scriptures, and we glean wisdom from them.
Towards the end of my Christian walk, I began to question the difference between why aren't more Jews coming into the church? How come we don't have an outreach for the Jews? And I remember going on a website, and I saw a website that said Jews for Judaism, and I thought that was a joke, because I thought, well, what Jew would not want to be for Judaism? I knew about Jews for Jesus, but this website said Jews for Judaism. And that caught my attention. Of course, it ended up being Michael Skobach's website. And so I began to investigate, why is it so important that Jews understand what Judaism is? And that was an eye-opener for me.
Rev Skobach and Rev Singer, Tovia Singer, both of those men teach in such a way that it's understandable to non-Jews. Even a non-Jew, I think as Jews, sometimes we tend to think only about the way we believe and the way we understand. And it's hard for us to make a shift toward Christian people who understand things. They speak a different language, so to speak. And I have a degree in Christian theology. Been a Jew all my life, but I have a degree in Christian theology. And one of the reasons is because I wanted to be able to understand where my Christian friends were coming from. Now, in Judaism, we don't evangelize. It's just something we don't do. Well, I shouldn't say we don't, because I do. I go out and seek converts. I'm constantly seeking converts. Say, hey, come on over to the light side. You know, you've already gone over to the dark side. Come on over to the light side. See what's here. You know, learn and know. And I want people to believe what they believe out of knowledge and faith, not ignorance and fear. Most Christians believe they have some kind of fire insurance. You know what I mean? They have fire insurance.
Well, they hope they do. They don't want to burn in hell.
Can you show me hell in the Bible?
Well, if you read most of Paul's letters, that's a lot of hell to me.
You know, yeah. But Paul's letters to me are like a good comedy routine. Kind of like, well, when you've got Peter and Paul, they're kind of like Laurel and Hardy. I had a debate with a fellow this morning over Isaiah 53. And you know, Isaiah 53 is the one chapter that we all get into together. He finally conceded, okay. But he says, let me show you other things. And he went to Psalms 22. And he says, look, they pierced my hands and my feet. And I said, wait a minute. That's not what it says in Hebrew. Well, yeah, it sure does. I said, well, show me. And he's showing me in Hebrew. I said, yeah. I said, it's right there. Like a lion, they mauled at my hands and feet. And he says, well, how do you get that out of that? And I said, well, let me show you all the other places where that's translated exactly the same way. Blew his mind.
But it's interesting that you're talking about this concept of Christians who are quoting from the Hebrew Bible in English. And that is just got to be the apex of ignorance, I would think, coming from a Christian background myself, and I've been guilty of this too. Never have I in my Christian experience ever embraced Judaism or the Torah or the Hebrew or anything having to do with Judaism, because I was taught from a very early age that the Jews are blind. And if the Jews are blind, why would you follow a blind man? It was a stumbling stone for me. It was a hidden stone that really tripped me up for many, many years, until one day a Jewish rabbi actually came to my house and explained to me the difference between Christianity and Judaism in a way that I could understand it. And that was a beginning point for me.
Not even wanted to deal with anybody who was a Christian, wouldn't talk to them, wouldn't have anything to do with them. Now I spend time trying to teach them. And the thing is, I tell them, I'm not just trying to teach you, I can learn from you too. I don't tell them that what I'm learning is how to speak their language and how to tell them how full of crap they are. Oh, did I say that? But, you know, this is one of the things I'm learning. And I've made some very, very good Christian friends. There is a couple of pastors in the area who've asked me to come and speak to their congregation. And I said, well, why would you want me to speak to your congregation? Well, I want my congregation to know what you really believe, not what they've always been taught that you believe. Because you've enlightened me, you've opened things up to me. And I said, well, first of all, you must understand that Jesus is not even part of the equation. And they said, well, you know, for me it is. And for me, I believe that it would enhance your faith. I said, well, no, it's not going to enhance my faith because I'm complete. I'm complete just the way I am. And that bowls them over, of course. But, oh well.
Well, Uriel, let me ask you a final question here in this wonderful interview that you're doing with us here today. Why isn't Christianity a Jewish idea?
Christianity is all about Messiah that supposedly came, yet the man didn't fulfill the prophecies. The man said he was God. Everything about Christianity is contrary to Judaism. Now, there are a few people who have decided, well, we're Messianics, so we're not Christians, we're really Jews, and they try to make Christianity Jewish. You can't do it just because you know a few Hebrew words and a few things that were said inside the synagogue, and because you wear a kippah on your head and wear a talit. I have a man who lives next door to me who wears a kippah on his head and wears a talit. And he tells me that there are no such thing as white Jews. Did I just shock you, Jim? Oh, this man has attacked me physically, saying there's no such thing as a white Jew. You people stole all of that from my people. And I asked him how much Hebrew he speaks. He said none. I asked him where in Israel he was from. He says, never been there. I said, well, where's your home? He said, Ethiopia. I said, oh, okay. But, you know, he calls himself a Jew, but doesn't follow Judaism. And then the other day I heard him talking to someone about Jesus. I thought, oh my, you know, that's not Judaism. It's totally contrary to Judaism. Jesus does not work. Christianity is all about Jesus.
And it is not a Jewish idea, is it?
Not at all. Not one iota. Adam's responsible for his sins. I'm responsible for mine. The only person who can do anything about mine is me. And what do? Turn around, go the other way. Repent. Not accept some man and say, well, he's got it covered, I don't have to worry about it.
Well, let me ask you this, Uriel, in our closing thoughts here. What would you identify as a couple of hidden stones that Christians are stumbling over, or that they are lobbying against those of us who have left Christianity? What are a couple of hidden things that we need to watch out for?
Something I hear all the time. We worship the same God. Well, I'm sorry, we don't. We don't worship the same God. Christians want to join themselves to us. And the scriptures predict that. They want to join themselves to us. But they don't want to give up their idols. People talk and say, well, Jesus has become a stumbling block to us Jews. No, that's not true. Jesus is the stumbling block to the Christians because he's the thing that's preventing them from knowing and learning the truth. He's a stumbling block. And in the New Testament, when it says that Jesus is a stumbling block, it's right, he is, but not to the Jew, to the Christian.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for giving us this wonderful opportunity to learn something about the hidden stones and the stumbling stones of Christianity. There's a reason why Christianity is not Jewish. And I'm so thankful for the teaching of the Torah in Hebrew from our Jewish rabbis. And I'm so thankful that you are a part of our group and that you are sharing with us and being a light to the nations. We love you so much, and thank you for taking this time to share with us in this episode, Getting Stoned by Christianity. Thank you, Uriel.
Well, but before you go, Jim, I do want to say, and I said it on Facebook, if you want to get stoned, use pot. Don't let Christians do it. Have a great day, Jim.
Thank you so much, my friend.
Before you go, Jim, there are some things I want to talk to you about privately.
Okay, we'll do that. I'll turn the camera off here and we'll have a little conversation. And thank you so much for your efforts in our Facebook group, Following God Out of Christianity and Returning to the Teaching of the Torah. And we will see you again. And thank you so much for your comments here today.
Thank you.